What's stopping you from building your property business right now? Hello, my name's Mark Fitzgerald. It's great to have you joining me here today. So what is stopping you from building a successful property business right now when there are so many other people out there doing it? Sometimes we are our biggest roadblock. Sometimes we stop ourselves. But in this episode, I'm going to help you overcome some of these with some key questions that you want to be asking yourself to move yourself forward. You see, we can all get out there and we can build property businesses in whatever industry we choose to build it in. So whether you want to be a deal sourcer, you're getting out there, you want to find some deals to sell on to investors. Maybe you want to get involved in rent to rent. So you want to take on a landlord's property. You want to treat that property as if it's your own, and then you want to lease it out to your tenants. So whether you're going to do that with the HMO strategy, houses of multiple occupation, or whether you're going to do that with serviced accommodation. Again, these are all very low cost startup strategies to build successful property businesses in the property industry. Of course, if you have the capital and you can buy the properties, that is always best, but you don't necessarily have to do that. There are tools that you can use as well, such as purchase lease options, which is where you arrange a price now with the vendor to buy the property, but you buy it in 3 to 5 years time. You pay them a lease fee each month, and then you have the option, not the obligation, to buy the property. So there's lots of different tools, there's lots of different strategies that you can use to get out there and build a successful business. Now, a lot of the time, the reason why people don't or aren't successful is A, they hold themselves back, which is first and foremost the biggest stumbling block, or B, they don't have the knowledge to be able to do this, okay? If you need any help with this, then please do visit thepropertyunleashed.com. We have some free ebooks, tools and resources. We have ebooks on serviced accommodation, ebooks on rent to rent. We have ebook on deal sourcing, anything like that which can help you, give you a bit more of an understanding, because what you have to do is you have to make sure that it's the right strategy for you to be successful. Why? Because it's going to be hard. You'll have heard me say it if you've listened to any of my videos or listened to the podcast before. It's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult. So make sure that you surround yourself with like-minded people. See, in life, what you want to do is design the life that you want to live rather than just earn a living. If you can do that, you'll never work a day in your life. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, at the end of the day, as I say, if you know 100% what you're passionate about and what you want to do in life, potentially with your property businesses, how you want to structure it, the sort of clients that you want to be using, and those sorts of things, then it'll help you when times are hard. It'll help you succeed, and you'll have a mission for what it is that you're trying to do, not just trying to earn money. A lot of people who get started out, they just want to get enough money to get out of their day job. That's their first target, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But after that, when things are difficult, when you have to go that extra mile, you won't, because you've all of a sudden you've hit the goal. It's almost like when the astronauts went to the moon and then they came back from the moon, they all struggled. Why? Because what do you do once you've hit your target of getting to the moon and back? And people do the same with property investing. They get out of their day jobs and then they find themselves a bit lost. They start to let their standards slide because they haven't got a mission after the first set of targets and goals that they want. So you never want to set a goal to be reached and then that's it. You want to set checkpoints. So for me, when I started out, my checkpoint was to first and foremost get a deal over the line or a handful of deals. That was the first checkpoint. Once I did that, the next checkpoint was to then start building systems and processes into my property business so that I could then take on more properties without running around like a headless chicken trying to do everything. This is something that I help and show people with in my trainings. The Rent to Rent Business Builder is predominantly one of those that will really help you systemize and build a successful property business, as will the Ultimate SA, serviced accommodation, if that's the strategy that you want. You see, if you think of the world and the money that is sloshing around in there, you know, if you think there isn't enough money to go around and that somebody has to lose for you to win, then you've got the wrong mindset. There is an abundance of money out there. And if you think of all the money out there, like the ocean, okay? The ocean is huge, you know, covers most of the world at the end of the day. So if you go up to the ocean with a teaspoon, you can only get a teaspoon from it. But if you go up to the ocean with a bucket and you take a bucket away from it, the ocean doesn't care. So the ocean doesn't care whether you go up to it with a teaspoon or you go up to it with a bucket. It's not going to make a difference to the grand scheme of the ocean, okay? Money is exactly the same as that. If you go up and you take a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, then that's fine. But if you go up there and you take a bucket full of money here and a bucket full of money there and really give yourself the life that you desire, the world will still be the same. You will not do anything probably, that is absolutely going to change the financial sector, that is going to really make sure or really show that people are going to end up poverty stricken. It's not going to be like that at all. So what do you want to do? Do you want to build a property business and just survive, or do you want to build a property business and thrive? And a great question to really get out there and ask yourself is, in 5 years from now, you will become somebody, okay? Who do you want to become is the question. Okay, because some people start a property business and they may have been in that for 5 years, but realistically they say, I've been in business 5 years. You haven't. You've been in business 1 year and you've just done the same thing 5 times because you haven't grown, you haven't built the processes, you're still stressing yourself out, you're still struggling. You're the one still trying to do everything. You've got to systemize it. You've got to bring people in potentially, depending on the size of the business that you want. If you just want it as a hobby or a sideline, that's fine too. But if you want to build something that's sustainable, you cannot do everything. And as soon as you can start to build processes in there and maybe get virtual assistants to help you, maybe get somebody in there to help you in whatever it is that maybe you're not too good at, that is when you can really start to grow your business. And that is where the magic happens. Now, that won't always happen at the very beginning. You will wear all of the hats. But I like to show my students or the clients that I work with how you can start to systemize this as you're going along. The little tips that you just need to do each and every day to make life easier for yourself, to make life easier for you to start outsourcing things. Because the next question is, in 5 years' time, you will arrive somewhere. Where will you arrive? If you do not know now where you want to arrive in 5 years' time, chances are you will not find it. So for me, okay, when I started in property, for me, it was all about getting out of my job. Now, I took voluntary redundancy, which isn't always the greatest things to do. I don't recommend it. I was planning on building my rent-to-rent business alongside my full-time job, but the opportunity came, so I took it, but I didn't have an abundance of money. I didn't have a lifeline of money that I couldn't do any, I couldn't just go out there and not make it happen. I needed to start bringing money in. I needed to start finding deals, okay? So predominantly, the first thing for me was to replace my wage so that I didn't have to go and get a job, because I didn't want to go out there and I didn't want to get another job. So I did that. I managed to do that in 6 months, okay? I managed to double my wage in 8 months, which was brilliant. But did I know I could do it at the beginning? No, I didn't. So I surrounded myself with the right people. I got the right education and I made sure that I took action. But I knew where I wanted to get to. My 5-year goal and plan was to get and live in my dream house, okay? It was to have my dream lifestyle. Now, my dream lifestyle might be more modest than a lot of people's out there, whereas I actually enjoy time with my family more than I do superficial things. So I have a very, very nice house. I drive very nice cars, but they are nothing compared to what truly makes me happy. Do you know what truly makes me happy? And it took me time to find this as well, is being around the people that I love, being around my 2 boys, my sons, being around my wife, Lisa. Those are the things that make me truly, truly happy. I could lose all the superficial things now, as long as I'm around those people and we can have a laugh and a joke. We're not out on the street, we're not destitute, but as long as we were together, I would be all right. And that is what makes me truly happy. So I work very, very hard now to make sure that I can enjoy the times with my family. So I'm not in a 9 to 5. If there is a problem, I can go and deal with that problem, a family member or a friend. I'm not stuck, or asking for permission to do anything. So for me, it was having time freedom. Time freedom is massive. We all only have so much time in our lives. We've got to make the most of it, and we've got to get out there and make sure that we can do it. And sometimes what you actually need to do is put some reminders around yourself, maybe in your office if you have an office or you're lucky enough to, or maybe just on the wall, posters, pictures, or little cards or anything like that, of things, remarkable things that people have achieved in life. A bit like when I was talking to going to the moon and back, the astronauts that took off in the rocket and went up there. That is hard stuff. You know what I mean? They had to have the specialists, the scientists, they had to have everything. The astronauts had to be super fit and know exactly what they were going to do. That's not property investing. Property investing or building a property business is easy compared to trying to get to the moon and back safely. That is hard. If you think back to war times, it was put to me the other day, actually, the World War bombers that used to go across, used to fly, over to the different countries, dropping the bombs and then fly back. And then as soon as they got back, they were told, we've got to turn around. They've seen their comrades and everything shot down and everything. They've lost friends and they land and then they're just told, we've got to turn around now. You've got to go and do it again. And they're thinking, I've just got lucky. I've just got back. They've got to do it. That sort of thing in life is hard. What we're doing isn't like that. It's not life or death. You know what I mean? It's not that hard, but sometimes our own subconscious can make it hard. We can feel that we cannot achieve these things. We can think that we cannot do it. So realistically, have some reminders around you, maybe some pictures of a spaceship or a bomber plane or something that is truly, truly hard. Something that you think to yourself, I would never want to be. I got enough respect for people that have done all of these things, but I don't want to be somebody that would have to fly a bomber plane backwards and forwards in a time that you just never knew where you were going to be coming home or not. That is, fair play to people like that. But we're not in that world. We're not having to do those sort of things. So whatever it is that's holding you back right now, making that phone call, sending out those letters, going to that networking event, speaking to those people, it's not that difficult. It's not that hard. And if you feel it is, look at what other people have done in other sectors and then just remind yourself, it's not going to kill me, this. I can just get on with it and I can do it. Whether I make a mistake, whether I feel a bit of a fool because I've said something that I shouldn't or I've done something that I shouldn't, it's not going to kill you. So just keep moving forward and putting yourself out there. So what I would say to anybody now that's looking at starting a property business, first and foremost, get the education right. Know what it is that you're doing, because in this game, you can build a business very quickly that costs you a lot of money and fails. Simple as that. Okay, so follow a proven roadmap. As I say, check out thepropertyunleashed.com. We've got lots of free tools and resources, trainings and all sorts to help you get started. I put those out there because I see far too many people think that it's not worth investing in themselves to buy the relevant training and courses. So I've got some free resources out there to at least get you down there with the fundamentals, with the basics, so that you don't make the silly mistakes that I see so many people making. Okay, so you can do that. If you want to take it to the next level, we do have training, coaching, support and everything, one-to-one coaching. We have training programs. We have a great community. But check out thepropertyunleashed.com for more information on that. But what you want to do is, if you're going to start your property business this year, and of course it's early on in this year, depending on when you're listening or watching to this, start planning out your holidays. What holidays do you want to be having? Maybe in your first year, you won't have any holidays because you won't have time to do it. But what would you like? Ideally, would you like 2 holidays a year, 3 holidays a year, 4 holidays a year? Where would you like to go? Who would you like to live with? What sort of property would you like to have for yourself? Where would you like to live? What would you like to do for fun? What do you want to be driving? Who do you want to be spending your time with? And what sites of the world would you like to travel to? Start to have a bit of a bucket list for some goals to start rewarding yourself when you hit certain criteria, when you hit certain financial targets in your business. You put a good product together, you put it out there, and you systematically be consistent and persistent in your approach. A, you will get the deals that you want. B, you will attract the clientele, or the customers as we like to call them, to your properties. And C, if you put the methodology in place, the blueprints into place for processes, for systems, you won't build yourself a headache. You will build a profitable, systemized business that gives you time freedom. They always say makes you financially free. At the end of the day, any business, anything you do, you will have to put some time into it. You can outsource it to anybody you like, but it will come back potentially and bite you on the bottom if you're not careful. So do make sure that whatever it is you're doing, whether you're managing your properties or whatever or not, you do need to still keep an eye on the management agents, on the people that are doing it. But make sure you truly are trying to build the life that you desire. Only you can do this. But if you go through this and watch this video again, maybe listen to it again, depending on if you're watching it on the YouTube channel, Mark Fitzgerald Entrepreneur YouTube channel, or of course on the Property Unleashed podcast, you're listening to it. make sure that you are getting out there and doing it. Again, reach out to me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Give us a like, give us a follow. If you've enjoyed this, please feel free to share it, like, subscribe, and I look forward to you joining me in the next episode very, very soon. You take care, get out there and smash it, and I look forward to seeing your successes. Bye for now.